Every love story has a heartbeat, and this one begins with two broken souls who never believed in love again. She was a hard-working woman fighting to save her mother. He was a billionaire who couldn't love, not because he didn't want to, but because life took that away from him. But when fate brings them together, a contract turns into connection, and pain turns into passion. This is the rose of the billionaire CEO who couldn't love. Before we begin, please like this video, subscribe for more love tales every week, and tell me in the comments, do you believe love can heal even a heart that stopped feeling?
The soft morning light slipped through the tinted windows of the black car as it pulled up to St. Mary's Hospital. Amara sat silently beside Joon-Ho, her hands clasped tightly together. Her heart beat fast, not from fear, but disbelief. He was really doing it. "Relax," Joon-Ho said, glancing at her from the driver's seat. His voice was calm, the kind of calm that came from power. "You don't have to worry anymore." She shook her head slowly. "You're paying everything, Joon-Ho. The bill is too." He cut her off gently. "Amara, you're my wife now. Your burden is mine too." The car door opened and they stepped into the hospital lobby. Nurses whispered, surprised to see the famous CEO of Luca Group walking in hand with a young woman in a simple floral dress. At the billing counter, the administrator stood up quickly. "Mr. Lee, welcome, sir." Joon-Ho nodded. "I came to clear all outstanding bills for Mrs. Evelyn Carter. Private room 203. The woman's fingers trembled as she typed on her keyboard. "Sir, that's a very large amount." He slipped a sleek black card onto the counter. "I said all of it." The machine beeped once. "Transaction approved." Amara watched, speechless, as the woman stamped "paid in full" across the stack of papers that had haunted her for months. Joon-Ho turned to her, his expression unreadable. "You won't have to work 3 jobs again. You'll rest. You'll live." Her eyes welled up. I don't know how to thank you." He looked down at her softly. "Just don't hide your smile from me again." "That's enough." When they entered room 203, Amara's mother was sitting up for the first time. Her eyes, weak but bright, widened the moment she saw them. "Amara," she cried, reaching out. "You're here, and this is—" Amara hurried to her side, smiling through tears. "Mama, this is my husband, Lee Joon-Ho." Her mother blinked, confusion and disbelief mixing in her face. "Husband? You got married?" Amara nodded, voice shaking. "It happened quickly. He's been helping with your care." Evelyn's smile faded a little. "You married because of me, didn't you?" Joon-Ho stepped forward, his tone respectful but firm. "Mrs. Carter, I may have started this for convenience, but your daughter is not someone I pity. She's someone I respect." Her mother looked at him long and hard, searching for truth in his words. Then she sighed, a single tear sliding down her cheek. "I just want her to be happy. Promise me that." "I do," Joon-Ho said quietly. "More than you know." He gently placed a small folder on the bedside table. Inside were the hospital's discharge papers and a new insurance card bearing Amara's mother's name. Amara looked at him, stunned. You planned this." He smiled faintly. "I don't like leaving loose ends." That night, as Amara sat beside her mother's bed, she whispered, "Mama, he's not as cold as people think." Her mother smiled softly. "Maybe. He just needed someone warm enough to melt the ice." The first snow of winter drifted over Seoul that evening. Silent, soft and impossibly beautiful. From the balcony of the penthouse, Amara stood wrapped in a pale beige coat, watching the flakes melt against the glass railing. Behind her, Joon-Ho watched quietly, hands in his pockets. He didn't know when he had started memorizing the way she breathed, the way she smiled, the way she filled every lonely corner of his home with warmth. "You like the snow?" he asked. She turned, her lips curving into a faint smile. "It's peaceful. Makes me feel like the world's slowing down for once." He stepped closer, his shoes silent against the marble floor. "You deserve that peace, Amara." Her heart fluttered at the softness in his tone. "You say that like you've never had any." "I haven't," he said honestly. The words hung in the cold air between them. Amara looked up at him, really looked, and saw something in his eyes she'd never noticed before. Not arrogance, not distance, but a quiet sadness that reached too deep for words. "Joon-Ho," she said softly, "you can tell me anything. You know that, right?" He didn't answer at first. Instead, he reached out, brushing a snowflake from her hair. His fingers lingered against her skin a moment too long. Then he exhaled, his voice low and unsteady. "I've kept something from you, Amara." Her breath caught. "What is it?" He looked down, struggling to find the right words. Something rare for a man used to controlling every situation. "After the car accident 3 years ago," he began slowly, "I wasn't just injured physically. I lost something that made me feel like a man." She froze. "You mean..." He nodded slightly, eyes avoiding hers. "The doctor said I might never be intimate again. It destroyed me. My fiancé left, my confidence vanished, and I built walls so high no one could reach me again." The confession was raw, stripped of pride and pretense. Amara's chest ached as she listened. She reached out instinctively, her hand brushing against his. "And that's why you chose me for the marriage." He nodded once. "You needed help, and I needed someone who wouldn't expect more than I could give. But somewhere along the line," he swallowed, "you became more than I ever expected." The silence that followed was heavy, but it wasn't cold. She took a step closer. "Joon-Ho," she whispered, "you think that makes you less of a man?" His jaw tensed. "Wouldn't you?" She shook her head slowly, her hand rising to rest against his cheek. "You're wrong. The only thing broken about you is the way you see yourself." For a moment, neither of them moved. The snow outside framed them in silver light. Then, slowly, Joon-Ho lifted his hand and covered hers, his thumb brushing lightly over her wrist. The warmth between them grew until it felt too much to bear. "Amara," he breathed, his voice barely a whisper. Her heart pounded. "Yes?" He leaned in, their foreheads touching. Her eyes fluttered shut as their breaths mingled, heavy, trembling, waiting. He didn't kiss her. Not yet. But when his fingers slid down to intertwine with hers, it said everything words couldn't. That night, they didn't need passion to fill the silence, just the simple rhythm of trust being rebuilt. And somewhere between her laughter and his quiet sighs, the impossible began to heal. The weeks that followed felt like a dream. Their fake marriage turned into quiet companionship. Shared breakfasts, late-night talks, long walks through the snowy city. Joon-Ho started smiling more. He still worked long hours, but every time he came home to find Amara reading by the window or falling asleep on the couch, he felt something unfamiliar peace. One evening after dinner, he invited her to one of his company's winter galas. "You don't have to go if you're uncomfortable," he said while helping her zip the back of her gown. His fingers brushed her skin lightly, sending shivers through her. She turned, smiling nervously. "You just don't want your employees to know your wife's more beautiful than every woman there," he smirked. "That's already obvious. At the event, people couldn't take their eyes off them." Amara, radiant, confident, graceful, didn't look like a woman who once worked 3 jobs. She looked like she belonged by his side. Halfway through the evening, his hand found hers beneath the table. She looked up, surprised, and saw the warmth in his eyes. "Thank you," he murmured, "for making this life bearable again." Before she could respond, he leaned close enough for her to feel his breath. For a heartbeat, the room disappeared. Their lips almost met, but he pulled back, whispering, "Not here." Her cheeks burned. "Then where?" He smiled faintly. "Home." That night, in the quiet of the penthouse, he finally kissed her. Slow, uncertain, yet so full of longing it felt like time itself paused. Her hands trembled against his chest. His arms found her waist. And though it was gentle, it was everything, a confession without words. When he finally pulled away, he rested his forehead against hers and whispered, "You make me feel alive again, Amara." Tears glistened in her eyes. "And you make me believe in love again." Days later, he took her to the same hospital, but this time for his follow-up check. The doctor smiled. "Your recovery is complete, Mr. Lee. Everything is normal again." He turned to Amara, disbelief and joy colliding on his face. I don't even know what to say." She smiled through happy tears. "You don't have to say anything. Just live." In the weeks that followed, Joon-Ho's world changed completely. He paid off Amara's mother's bills, bought her a house, and opened a small fashion brand under Amara's name, A Rose. When she cried from joy, he kissed her forehead gently. "You've worked hard all your life. Now it's my turn to take care of you." His grandfather, upon visiting, saw the truth in their eyes. The way they touched, smiled, and finished each other's sentences. "Seems I was wrong," he said with a proud smile. "This isn't a fake marriage, it's fate." Joon-Ho looked at Amara, his hand intertwined with hers. Fate and love. That night, under the city lights, he finally confessed fully. His voice steady, heart wide open. "I thought I was incapable of love, Amara, but you rewrote every part of me. I don't just want you in my life. You are my life." She smiled, tears in her eyes. "Then let's never stop rewriting it together." He kissed her again, deep, sure, and real. And for the man who once couldn't love, he finally understood that love had never been the problem. He just hadn't met the right woman yet. The woman who made his frozen heart bloom again. Amara, his rose. Thank you so much for watching. Your support really means the world to me. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll know as soon as another story drops.